husband's amazing. I love him. Well,
For the record, I hate being on camera.
Filming you, or are you filming me?
Yeah. Still on the way.
That's filming us right now. Say,
Woo! Caleb's trying not to laugh.
It's fun to climb on.
yeah. Sammy, what do you think of this area?
Good, I like it.
Yeah. So we'll see how we can get that done. Kids are sliding on their butts, ruining their pants.
Everybody give a thumbs up!
Thumbs up!
Thumbs up!
Okay, so you love to go out off-roading, you want to get into more overlanding, or you just haven't started yet but you can't wait, but you're hitting a snag with your significant other, your spouse, your kids. They are less than enthusiastic about the whole process. What in the world are you supposed to do? What you're gonna wanna do is grab a seat, grab that spouse, grab those kids, come sit down and watch this video, okay? Believe it or not, we have some in our crew that are less than enthusiastic about this whole process. So today what I'm gonna do is sit down and talk with them about off-roading and kind of what they like, what they don't like, and then later on the video we're gonna hear from Lauren, and she's gonna lay things out from a female perspective. So you're gonna wanna stick around for that. Another thing you can do is head over to our website. If you haven't heard, we're starting to organize trips across the country as we travel to get together with people that either love off-roading or wanna give it a try. You've got an off-road capable rig, but you're not sure where to start, head over to our website. What I'll do is put a link in the description below on how you can see those trips and sign up for those trips. But anyway, let's get going. Let's talk to the kids, and then like I said, later on, we're gonna grab Lauren and get her in and hear from her.
Hello, my name is Sam, and I am 8 years old.
Right, and so would you say overall you enjoy doing our off-roading trips?
Yeah, I just don't like doing it like a ton because I like to have some off days and stay in the trailer and stuff.
Yeah. What do you like about our trips?
I like it, the sights we see, and on the sand dunes. The only thing I didn't like about the sand dunes on the first one is because I forgot I didn't have my seat belt on and I flew straight to the dashboard.
Right, you came up front with us, right? That was out in Moab. We were in Utah for that.
Yeah, but
you like the sand dunes in Michigan?
Yeah, I love the sand dunes in Michigan.
What did you like about it?
I liked when we went up, all the way up, and all you could see is just the sky, and then you would go, whoa.
Right. What else? What job do you have when we go on our trips?
To guide you in rough terrain, like up hills and a ton of rocks.
So that's called like a spotter. You're learning to be a spotter for us, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I prefer just capturing, like filming. Like, I don't really have a favorite place. I do have a least favorite though. But mainly filming. I mean, it's just fun.
So you shoot a lot of the videos for us when we're out there, right? And you often like to be outside of the vehicle.
Yeah.
And why is that?
Because I hate off-roading.
Now, you say that a lot. I think it's probably better to say it's not your favorite activity.
I hate off-roading.
You hate off-roading.
I hate it because we live full-time on the road, we travel, and for fun you want to go in a car for another hour and a half just for fun. My butt is sore afterwards.
Have you ever had a place we went that you thought was fun?
Yes, the sand dunes.
Right, so the Silver Lake Sand Dunes. You did have fun. I have you on video saying you had fun.
Yes, I know. That's why I had to admit.
Okay, right. And so we actually have you smiling on a couple of our trips, right? Okay, but So when we first started, it wasn't something that you were really fond of, right?
I wasn't fond of it at all.
At all. But you do like to take pictures and you like to do video. And so one of the ways we got you interested in it was making sure that you had a camera and that we gave you almost a position or a job to help film some stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that, I think, has made it a lot more enjoyable for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So how about some ideas for maybe kids in your situation that don't love off-roading? Because there are some things you do enjoy when we go on these trips.
Yes. I guess like you find something that they enjoy about it and let them do it instead of just saying, "Oh, I don't want to do this. I want to get back to the actual off-roading," because I prefer personally to go out, see the area, and like if you look back in a couple of the videos, there's like these steep slopes that you might be going down, but they're fun to slide down.
Right, that's true. When we were in
Twice actually.
Sedona, Arizona, we did the Broken Arrow Trail,
Yeah.
and you and Sam had a lot of fun getting out and sliding down the steps.
Yes,
Right.
I don't like the actual off-roading though, and that could be the case for you or your kids. You don't like the actual off-roading, but there's some other stuff like just being in the area because it can be pretty neat in some of the places. But mainly just like the two things that I enjoy the most are, like I said, exploring the area and filming.
Okay. So my name is Caleb, and I'm 14 years old. That good?
That's fantastic. Okay. So, how do you feel in general about the off-roading?
I don't like the parts where it's like just gravel and some big rocks where it's just real shaky.
You seem to really enjoy like the obstacle parts of it. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So, you like to either be going really fast on like
Yes.
sand dunes
Or super steep.
or super steep. Okay. So, you got a little bit of a thrill seeker in you, it sounds like.
Sure.
All right. So, what else do you help when we're on our trips?
So the drone and taking pictures and flybys and that type of stuff with it.
All right, so I'm not sure if you picked up on the theme there, but with each of the kids, one of the main things we do to try to get them engaged is to really let their personality types kind of shine through. So I'll start with our youngest. Our youngest, Sam, is probably the most adventurous of our kids, and he often wants to be outside exploring, and we took that kind of desire to be outside, and he likes to climb on things and jump around things. And also, I think because he's the youngest, really enjoys feeling like when we do give him like responsibilities and stuff like that. So one of the things we did with him is kind of help him be a spotter for us when we're out there on the trails. And so obviously he's still learning, and Lauren definitely does most of the spotting. But if it's kind of an easier section and I don't need a lot of technical help, I'll throw Sammy out there in front of us, and he has a lot of fun having a job. I mean, really what we've found works really well for our family when we are out there is to really focus on everybody having a role, and everybody's got a job to do. And really, truly, when one of our, like recently when we went to Roush Creek, we didn't have my daughter there, and so we were down a camera person, because that's, like she said, she really likes to film. And so Norah especially didn't really enjoy off-roading, and she'll still tell you she doesn't like off-roading. And I think certain types, and you heard, all three of the kids really like the sand dunes out in Michigan. So if you're near Michigan and you have the opportunity to get to Silver Lake sand dunes, I would highly recommend getting there. You've got kind of a low, I mean, you can get in trouble, but it's just fun to drive on sand, and you're not going to fall off a cliff. You might get bogged down in some sand. You might lose a beadlock or something, but generally speaking, you know, it's a fairly family-friendly beginner kind of area to go. So I would recommend that. But like I was saying with Norah, she kind of fought us a lot in the beginning, and if you've watched some of our earlier videos, we have her in there just, you know, bemoaning her existence and the fact she's out there and stuff like that. But one of the things we really did and noticed is that she was always asking to use my camera or she wanted to go take pictures and stuff like that. And so we ended up getting her own little camera. And because she does not like, Norah does not like to be in the vehicle if there's anything scary happening in. So Caleb said that he likes those, you know, the steep inclines, the obstacles. Norah is the exact opposite. So if there's an obstacle or something, she wants to get out, which is fine. So what we decided to do is, fine, you get out, here's a camera, you help film. And so that really gave her, again, a job to do, and a part that she really kind of latched hold of and really is enjoyed doing. So if you've got kids that maybe are kind of on it, I really encourage you guys to just step back and say to your kids, or think about your kids, what do they enjoy? Because Norah, like you said, or like you heard her say, really likes going out exploring. She likes to film. And so when we go on these trips, she's not really keen on the actual trail itself, but what's around, the flowers. We were in Colorado, there was an abandoned mine we got to explore, and in Arizona she got to go down and just kind of like this natural slide down the Devil's Staircase on the Broken Arrow Trail. She enjoyed doing that, and we've had vines that turned into rope swings and stuff like that. So really encouraging your kids to get out and safely explore. And then obviously Caleb, the oldest. So Caleb does truly enjoy, he gets bored. So if it's just a rocky trail where there's just not a lot going on, he's not one that just will sit back and admire the natural beauty, which would be more where Lauren would certainly fit, and Sam. Sam and Lauren definitely enjoy the surroundings and just looking at these canyons and the mountains and just really enjoying the scenery. Caleb is not so much there, but what he does really enjoy are the technical obstacles, or if we get to go fast up a steep incline or go through mud and stuff like that. So he often will be in the car with us when we're doing these things, and those are the times we get kind of the best smiles out of him, and just a really natural, just good-hearted laughter and smiles, which if you have a teenage son, you know that sometimes those are hard to get out.
So for the ladies watching this, I hate being on camera. You will not see me much on this camera, but I am in the background and I'm happy to answer questions, respond to emails, whatever. Okay, so Brad just said he's a thrill seeker. I'm not. And off-roading is very much a adventurous, thrill-seeking kind of activity. So why on earth am I doing it? Honestly, the first thing that got me doing it was because it's something Brad enjoys, and he's my husband, and I'm going to give it a try because he wants me to try it out. But things that have kept me doing it, and now obviously our whole family is doing it. First, I would say I learned to appreciate kind of the other aspects of off-roading, and that would be the scenes. I love being outdoors. I love plants and wildlife, and I miss my gardening. If I would say one thing I miss about normal house life, it would be having my garden, and being able to get outside and get kind of off the beaten path on some of these trails gives me the opportunity to see plants in their natural habitats and find new ones that I've never seen before, and see things that I just wouldn't see on a regular hike, mainly because our family doesn't hike 10 miles into the woods and back. So if I can take the car there halfway, then it works. Maybe one day we'll get there. But yeah, I would say, and then the other big thing is finding some compromise. I don't enjoy being in the car for certain obstacles. So, like, especially when we're doing things where we're going over boulders and we're on like 2 tires and bouncing back and forth, and then there's like a little drop off on the other side, you know, that's a little much for me. So having the opportunity to get outside and be the spotter is really what helps me. And I actually enjoy doing that because I feel like I'm a part of the process, and I like a good challenge, I just don't like, the fear that I
don't
get.
like to think you could die on that challenge.
Exactly. I just don't like, this is going to be it, the end of our lives. Not that we're in that situation very often, so don't get freaked out. Yeah, having a chance to kind of have the role of being the spotter gets me out of the car, and I can see what he's doing. It also helps me kind of see the capabilities of the vehicle and really what's going on, so then I'm not as nervous when I'm in the car because I understand a little bit more of what's going on and what the car can really do. The other aspect that makes this work for me is our children. They weren't so excited about it after our first adventure of off-roading, overlanding, whatever you want to call it, because it was kind of a scary trail. And for myself, I will say it was a scary trail, not knowing really what was going on. It involved a shelf road and some boulders and being off camber and on those two wheels, but on the side of a mountain. So it wasn't the best way to kind of start our whole adventure or course of off-roading. So what that meant for me, in order to keep doing this, I needed to make sure that not only did I feel safe and comfortable, but mainly did my kids. And so what really helped us was when we started finding roles for the kids. What do they want out of it? What do they enjoy doing? How can we engage them in that? And I know Brett's already talked about this. For some of them, they love taking pictures. For others, they love being out and just exploring. Sammy, our youngest, he thinks he is like the ultimate spotter and director. He has no idea what he's doing.
He's learning.
But he's learning, and as he gets older, we can teach him a little bit more of the technical stuff. But he has fun doing it, and we enjoy watching him do that. And so that helps me. And knowing that it's our whole family working together on something. If I just let this be Brad's thing and we didn't do it with him, it would just be another thing that you get to hear about, and you don't experience it. You don't have any shared memories, and that was a big reason why we got on the road in the first time, was for us to not have our separate things that we did and then come back together, but to have more activities that we did together. And so that was a big kind of force or impetus in getting me to do more off-roading. But in reality, I would say I've really started to enjoy it. There are still some trails that I'd rather not do, but for the most part, I really enjoy the trails. My favorite one, so if you're looking for a really pretty place, if you like outdoors, go to Sedona. There's a little bit of adventure there for your thrill seeker, but there's a lot of beauty. And we did Broken Arrow Trail, and we were really fortunate because it was right at the beginning of all the COVID mess. And so all of the public paid tours, I don't know what you really call them, but the Jeep tours, tour guides, they stopped running. And so this trail is normally very busy because it is so beautiful, but we had it practically to ourselves, and it was gorgeous. I mean, the red rock and the foliage, and there were these awesome trees, and the wildlife, and just the scenic views were incredible. And I hope we can get back there soon. Another one that I really liked was Schaefer Trail.
Yeah, Schaefer Road Trail.
Schaefer Road Trail. That one was kind of going from Arches National Park to Canyonlands National Park, I think. It might technically be
Moab.
partly in Canyonlands. But it started out, which was really cool for the kids, it started out on a regular road, right? But we passed all these petroglyphs. And so we were able to get out and look at it, and which was such a cool thing for not only us, but the kids. And then as we got onto the dirt road, we passed like rams, right? There was like or wild sheep or something like that we went through. And then we came to like this potash evaporation ponds, which we had no idea what that was. Look it up if you don't know. And that was all before we started going up the mountain,
Right.
which was a lot of switchback roads, but it was gorgeous, and the view was just incredible to see all of Moab. And that was a really pretty trail. But it brings up another point that there's lots of other things along the way in this off-roading that you can see and do that maybe you wouldn't see and do if you didn't take a four-wheel drive vehicle off the beaten path. And so you can always look for ways to incorporate more of that as a compromise or whatever. We've seen dinosaur tracks, we've seen the petroglyphs, like I said. Sometimes there's some cool piece of history that you want to go see, or
We even saw abandoned mine on
abandoned
that one that you keep
mines.
talking about.
Yes, the one the very first trip we went on that we all were terrified of. The other side of the mountain was incredible, and we got to explore some abandoned mines and see this whole village. That was neat. You know, we saw American pikas or pikas. I don't know how you say it. We're not from Colorado, sorry. For the first time, and the kids had a blast. We were just climbing up the mountain looking for them, and so there's ways to make it enjoyable for you and your partner, and I would just encourage you to kind of explore some of that. And I would also say, if you are really anxious or you have specific questions or whatever, reach out. Feel free to send me an email, contact@prodigal.overland.com, and you know, I'll try to answer what I can. I can at least just share my experience and see if that helps. Also, going with people is something that I really enjoy. It just makes it more enjoyable. It cuts down on the fear factor because you know you're not alone. You're not the only ones out there. But then the social aspect of it, it's almost like being out at a team sport, you know, where you get to cheer each other on. You're trying to help somebody navigate a difficult challenge, or you're excited for them because they got to do something they never did before. And just in general build relationships. And so that's a lot of what we really enjoy, and that's also why we want to be doing more trips, is because we love meeting people, and we love hearing their stories and life experiences and sharing kind of what they learned along the way and what we learned, and just kind of help each other out. So one more thing. Go ahead. Okay, so one thing I do want to say, if you do have kids and that's what's holding you back from trying out off-roading, you're kind of scared about bringing them, I did put a post up on the website with some tips for how to take your kids off-roading, what to pack, what to wear, how to get them engaged, things like that. So do check that out on the website. It's under I think it's under the tips and resources for off-roading. And, you know, if you need to leave a comment or ask a question, do that, or send us an email, and we can kind of answer more specific questions that way. But I will say that there are certain things, I mean, if you have kids, you already know, pack snacks, probably a change of clothes. But there is some more detail in there about things about specific issues with kids if they're feeling anxious, or maybe they need to be occupied, or they're just going out of their mind, you know. There's some suggestions in there, some things we've tried, and some things that have worked and some things that haven't worked. And so we know every kid's kind of different, but we're happy to help out however we can.
So there you go, guys. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully seeing my kids and my wife talk about why we go out off-road together. Hopefully themes you have heard throughout this was find ways to engage everybody. So even if you don't love the obstacles and you don't love kind of the adventure of it, there's lots of ways to engage together as a family or as a couple and still really enjoy yourselves. Like I said, we really try to hone in on each person specifically. What do they like? You heard Lauren talk about that she loves plants and the flowers, and she loves to kind of go exploring. Our daughter is the same way. Our daughter also talked about how she loves filming and enjoys that part of it. And then Caleb, my oldest, absolutely loves the obstacles and doing the hard stuff on the trail. And my youngest Sammy is just 100% boy and loves to go exploring, loves to be outside, loves to get dirty. And so there's always a lot to keep him entertained. Anyway, hope this video helped. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button if you like that. Hit that bell if you want to be notified when these videos come out. And if you've not yet subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe to this video. But have a great day, and we'll see you again real soon.